obviously, just thrilled for our guys. And the game didn't start like we had hoped. They kind of took it to us. We knew they would have motivation. Obviously, they got their butts kicked the other day at Iowa State. We knew that the last time that happened when they lost to Oklahoma State, they came back into Oklahoma, but we weathered the storm. I think the biggest lead was either 7 or 9. We just kept grinding and fought through it. We fought through foul trouble. We fought through a bunch of stuff. Obviously, Mark helped us stay in it in the first half, Mark Smith, and Nigel made a couple big shots, and we, missing layups, missing free throws. We're right there. And I told our guys to just give yourself a chance. I thought the start was good. We were pretty good defensively, especially early in the second half. Then Carr got going. He's a really, really talented player. And, it's a great team win. Obviously, Mark Smith, special effort, 22 points, big shots, big rebounds. Nigel made plays, but Mike McGurl's poise and pace and 2 games in a row, I just keep emphasizing to him, make simple plays, make simple basketball players. You do that, you're a good player. And it was great for him. Couldn't be more thrilled for him. Marquise, it wasn't quite his day today, but he gets that rebound, gets fouled, makes the free throws. He has an assist to Mike McGurl, and then the big assist to Nigel down the stretch. That was a huge play that made the difference. We go small ball at the end. The biggest guy, 6'4", Mark probably, and ironically got 2 stops at the end. The first one, we had switched Selton onto Carr, and then they went to Jones, and then the last one, Nigel manned up, and Carr missed the shot, and we got the rebound, and just thrilled for our guys that we've taken another little step.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to Mark Rosner with the AP first.
You're muted, Mark.
Sorry. This is obviously a different team the last 2 games. Now that you have your players back, how much better are they playing?
Well, we're playing a lot better, and part of it, again, I said it a couple times, and people don't listen, don't care. When you don't have people in practice, and you don't have the coaches, and you don't have, we went, for me, I don't feel well to this day, to be honest. And it's 17 days since I tested positive. I think our guys feel better. Mike McGurl, again, he sat 7 days and then came back. So you had some practices. I think our coaches did a great job. But I think the biggest thing above all that, our players have taken ownership of our team. And a player-driven team is much better than a coach-driven team. And, the good leadership by Mike McGurl, by Mark Smith. I think Ish has been a good vocal leader, Marquise. And then even Nigel, slowly but surely, is speaking up. So it's, we're guarding people. They had to learn. They had to figure it out. You tell them a lot of things, but sometimes you got to go through it. And they found out this league is tough, and you got to guard and be tough. And, it's if you do that, it gives you a chance. But we're starting to make good basketball plays, and I think on offensive end, which is important.
Thank you.
Next question to Kellis Robinette.
Hey, Bruce, congrats on that one.
Yep. Thank you.
So so now that you've gotten a taste of, what your team is like at full strength again, what do you think you're capable of here down the stretch of the season?
Well, all we can do is worry about one game at a time. And that's the whole thing. I've given them a goal where we need to get, obviously our goal is getting the NCAA tournament. How do you get there? You got to finish in that top 7 in our league. And, we can't worry about, we just can worry about Saturday, Kansas. And that's the big thing. Each game, it's a notch in our, time you beat a ranked team, which is almost every game. It gives us, another mark on our resume. But it won't mean anything unless we come ready for Kansas on Saturday. So we got to keep this. And that was a message after, keep the mindset, keep the team as the number one focus. Coach Southwell last night, I thought he did a great job at the end of scout and said, if you go to bed, you're thinking of how special I'm going to be tomorrow, we're in trouble. But if you're thinking how I can help the team, I think we're going to have a good night. And one of the things, it's Martin Luther King Day yesterday. We used some different quotes. Obviously, the one about conviction that, there's a rare point in life where you find something that you have a conviction to make sure it's finished till the end. And that's what we're trying to emphasize. And the other thing we talked about is, everyone can be great if they have the right mindset and want to serve others. And that's right now we got to serve each other. We got to help each other. If we keep that mentality, we got a chance to continue to win games.
And what was the strategy today going from, Bradford to Lingard to late, no bigs at all? How did you work your way through that?
Well, we just, I don't know. I just told Wyatt and Stan, our bigs got to help us a little bit. And they've struggled. We haven't lost total confidence in them, but sooner or later they got to step up. We started Davion. We had said we're going to give Casey the first look. If he'd had some struggles, we were going to go with Carlton and give him a look because he had played against them. Carlton would just make your free throws, and he has a productive first half. And then we went with Ish, and it's tough for him to guard fives and box out, but he was trying. He cares. And then we went at the end. We just said, heck with it. I said one time, who's our best 5 defensive players on the court? Because they're just going to run a ball screen and switch and give Card a ball, which heck, I would have too. And we gave it to Nigel. We gave it to Mark. Same type of thing. And we manned up and we got 2 big stops down the stretch and 2 huge rebounds.
All right. Thanks, Bruce. Travel safe.
Thank you.
Next question to Cole.
Hey, Coach. Yeah, I was just curious about the strategy. You mentioned Marcus Carr there. Selton Miguel seemed like he was the man who was guarding him most of the time. Can you kind of talk about his performance, especially down the stretch after Carr started to cool down a little bit at the end of the game?
Yeah, we put him we thought Marquise could get under Marcus Carr early. He hadn't really seen that kind of pressure, but Marquise got in some foul trouble. Carr got him in deep in the lane and made some plays over him. We had, their leading scorer in the last stretch has been Andrew Jones. So that was our, we put Selton on him. And then as the game went on, we had the foul trouble. Selton wasn't in. He's a big body. He takes a lot of pride. He's good at getting over ball screens. And I thought he did a really good job down the stretch of, even though it was a switch on the last one and Nigel had to man him up, I thought Selton was huge. And again, taking ownership of the team, figuring out your role and taking pride in it and serving our teammates, helping them. How can we help us win? That's what I text them today. How are you going to make a difference in the game? Selton made a difference in the game with his defense.
And then obviously Saturday, Kansas comes to Bramlage. We asked Coach Lowry this after the Texas Tech game, but how do you make sure that there's not a letdown going into another really big game?
Again, we're in a hole. We got ourselves in a deep hole, and we every game matters, and you're not going to win them all, I don't think, but we got to come back and you got to get mentally prepared. They've done a great job. Again, player driven teams are better than coach driven teams always. And they're taking ownership of the team. They've made sure that we're preparing. We went pretty hard yesterday, but even on Sunday, we did some drills, some toughness drills, box out drills. We won the boards 32-41, which shocked me. We had more second chance points, more offensive rebounds. So all those things are paying off. Their mind's got to stay in the right place. I think that's the biggest thing if you're worried about a letdown or not.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question to Tim Iverson.
Hey, Coach, you just mentioned rebounding. When you guys played them here, they out-rebounded you by 12. Obviously, you edge them by 1. How big of an impact is that for you guys tonight?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, those second chance points, we only had 6, 7 guys, and they wore us down. And they say their big guys, if you look at their big guys scoring in the first game, I think they had 34, 35 points combined, plus almost, 20 some rebounds. And, they were the difference in the game. And that was one thing we brought up in the scout was we can't let them dominate. And we've done a lot of box out drills. Not, I joked on the radio the other day, Mark, I gave him a pad to box out, and he still broke one of our guys' jaws. But the drills we do, it's just making them aware of it, and our guys have done a great job. And we said 5 guys to the boards those last 2 times, and everyone's got to be there, and we made the plays when it mattered.
And then speaking of Mark, how special was he tonight, especially kind of carrying you a little early there through the first half?
Yeah, he kept us in the ball game. It's tough for him to guard their big guys, but even though he's pretty, physical and kind of a man child, to be honest. And, but he got him on some ISO, some angle rips. And, he's learned it go straight line now, take it to the hoop, use your body. He's made those big plays, obviously stepped up on 2 seconds left on the shot clock, made a big 3 for us. He made the huge 3 against Texas Tech, but he's playing like a older guy should, and he's really, he wants to do well. He knows. I told him in December, they're not giving you another COVID year. This is it, so you better make the most of it, and he truly has.
Next question to Michael Goins. Michael.
Yeah, Bruce, just how much does Mark kind of get you guys going with his aggressive play in the early stages of the game?
I think it was great. He kept us in there because they were very physical with us. They overplayed a lot. They got into Nigel. We thought they would do that. So he just, again, uses his body, uses angles. He's starting to understand when to go, when to not, but he's also playing with great poise and pace. I thought the second half, Texas Tech, some of his drives, he just, instead of just going, being a bull in a china shop and knocking everyone over, he did it one time tonight. He is, picking it and choosing it and keeping control and just making good plays. And so he was no doubt, he was huge early. Then the other guys picked it up, and he had, it was again a great team win. And, his play, Mike McGurl, Nigel, and then, every Selton on defense, there's just so many guys that did so many positive things.
And how good was Nigel on 3 different levels of the offense tonight? Long range, mid range, and inside.
Yeah, Nigel, in that one stretch in the second half, they, Coach Southwell, Coach Lowry, they're getting mad at him when he gives up the ball. We're creating switches, and you got a 5-man on, don't give it up. Go make the plays, have confidence. And that's part of his maturation. He's still a young guy and getting a feel of it. And we probably at 8:45, there was a timeout, and I thought he was coming out because I wanted to rest him before that TV timeout. And then the coach said, no, he's cooking. So then he never got a rest. And then we finally got him out at 6 minutes because, there's no doubt he was getting tired. He kind of lost his pop, but that rest at the end, he made the, big layup off Marquis' pass. Great cut again. He has a tip in against Texas Tech. Now the great layup off the little feed from Marquis. And we didn't have many assists, but that was a huge one. And then he stood up and manned up and made a big play on defense down the stretch.
Thank you, Bruce.
Next question to Arnie Green.
Yeah, Bruce, you talked about the small ball, but I think they're down the stretch. They had about 3 or 4 second chance opportunities. Were you kind of second guessing yourself, or were you just going to go with that regardless?
That wasn't our smallest lineup. The smallest lineup at the end, we got the rebounds, but they did get some opportunities. They got us strung out. They do a great job of cutting when they get dribble penetration and you're watching the ball and helping. It's tough to box out. We worked on it for 2 days. And they those plays were big to give them a chance to take the lead. Obviously, we found a way to get get the lead and get the win at the end and made the plays at the end. They're good. I mean, they were top 5 at the start of the year. They're still a good team. They, like everyone, they're trying to figure some things out. And I know Coach Beard's one of the best coaches in the country, and I'm sure he'll get those guys cooking. But we got to split with them, and that's what all that matters right now. Unless you play them in the tournament, we got to split.
Also, early on, I think your first 10 points came off the layups, even though you missed a lot of shots. Did you feel pretty good about the offense? It looked like you were getting in the paint, just weren't finishing.
Yeah, Selton had a couple. We got it to Carlton. He missed the free throws. Again, they overplay and they make you make basketball plays. And against them, it's a game of space, and you got to keep your space, and then you got to get angles, then you got to make the right plays. And sometimes it's a layup getting to the hoop. Sometimes it's a jump stop and hitting somebody. And then other times it's, you got to make a play on your own. So they make you play one-on-one. We had only 7 assists the first game. I think it was 10 tonight. But in the last one was a huge one. But yeah, we had 10. They had 10. We only had 7 again. So 2 games in a row, 7. And that was the one thing we had talked about, getting more assists, but we had a huge one down the stretch.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to do one last question for Coach, for Ryan, and then we're going to go to Mark Smith and Mike so we can get out of here, guys. Okay. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Coach. How much of a relief has it been over these last 2?
A relief?
Yeah, how much of a relief has it been?
I mean, you
to
got to
have
win
your
games.
full
We want to be a
roster healthy?
factor, and that's what I challenge them, to. And I'm just happy for them and our staff. We've been through. I said it before, a bad dream, maybe a nightmare, and they've stayed together. It's hopefully made them tighter. The haircuts, they came together and decided to get haircuts. I don't know if it did anything, but I thought just the camaraderie that they all went and did that, or a lot of them did it. I think it was really positive. A couple of them have some bad hairdos, and they probably need to, but we just, they've taken ownership, and I'm just proud of them, happy with them. I thought we were pretty efficient offensively in the second half. You look at the stats, Texas Tech in this game, good numbers, 50% shooting, 52 maybe, 40 or so from 3, just a lot of good plays. And they're learning. You got to learn how to win. You got to learn how to be a team. Now we got to keep it. We can't get emotionally drunk because Kansas coming in. We got to have the same toughness and discipline and play the right way if we're going to have a chance to beat another ranked team.